This is Akashvani. Time for a weekly program, Our Guest. I hand over the mic to the show host, Nitish Arora, for the same.
Thank you so much. And there is a slight twist in today's program as our guest is not in our studios. In fact, we went all the way to his place of work, and that is where we could have actually caught the essence of this particular recording. This is a visit to Yamuna Biodiversity Park. And I am now going to introduce you all to the senior scientist here, Dr. Faiyaz Ahmed Khudsar. Faiyaz, tell us something about Yamuna Biodiversity Park. I understand that inside Delhi and NCR, where most of the human population wants to run away from the noise, how come this beautiful island of birds, and what kind of variety of birds that you get here in this park?
It's a very important question and pertinent. Actually, when you see, it is Government of India organization, Delhi Development Authority has given land and money and scientific inputs from Delhi University working together to see such blue-green infrastructure. In fact, this system got help and support from every corner. Highest authority of Delhi, like Office of the Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Office of the Vice Chairman of Delhi, engineers of DDA, landscapists of DDA, all actually came together to help us to see the ray of light. Because Delhi Development Authority is known for development of cities. But when they thought of bringing life to it, only then you can get quality of life. Such in green-blue infrastructure comes into existence. And our mentor, Professor C.R. Babu from Delhi University, given this concept. And this is the first biodiversity park of the country. When we came, it was an entirely barren area. And it's a teamwork. Everybody came together and we worked together with DDA, Delhi University. And we tried to see that how issues related to degradation of the land can be sorted out. Because this area was Usar land. pH was very high, where nothing can grow. And from there we started, and where we reached, you see. The restored wetland of DDA's Yamuna Biodiversity Park has different quality. When you come in winter, you will see large number of migratory birds from Siberia, Central Asia, Europe, and nearest from China, because the great cormorant comes from China quickly, because by 15th of October we expect a lot of cormorants reach here. And there's a black big bird, fish-eating bird, and then slowly we see that how northern shoveler, gadwall, all started coming. Even red-crested pochard, which is the beauty of this park, in fact attract a lot of visitor, which starts coming from Central Asia and Siberia. So that is the beauty of this park. And we have restored narrow shallow wetland where we brought characteristic vegetation of Yamuna, that is Tamarix phragmitis. And that forest community, established forest community along the restored wetland, initially brought many waders, but since last 8-9 years, probably it is the only heronry in Delhi where you see large number of birds in the month of April and May breeding, and especially the beautiful black-crowned night heron. Such a beautiful bird, and there are noise all around you will see during that month. There is a mass congregation along with other birds.
Now that here this is a government aided part of Delhi, and the land is given to you, and perhaps the migratory birds also know that there will be no fuss here because they are like pretty secure. But there are many wetlands which are kind of the fields of people. The agrarian land is also coming in between, and they do not welcome it. There are stories wherein the native villagers, they try to either burst crackers to run them away. So how is that a challenging situation? How can that be improved upon?
It is very rare. As you said, this is Government of India enterprise, Delhi Development Authorities enterprises. But the other places, as you said, rarely you see such a story, because there are many places where these birds gives you a possibility of social and economic interaction. It brings a lot of tourism. Nal Sarovar Lake. Many lake you go to Chambal, many wetlands which brings tourism on it. So I don't think kitchen, as you were talking about the domicile crane, how a community can disturb it. Actually, it can only happen when their farmlands are getting. Actually, there are not all species of migratory birds, they do it. For example, geese, bar-headed geese, they tend to go around the agricultural landscape and graze. But they don't graze in a way that disturb entire cropland. Cropland, in fact, add to the habitat heterogeneity, more habitat, mosaic of habitat, so that it brings more birds to stay. So I don't think, actually, if people think that way, they should change their mindset, because they are coming from extreme north towards south when they have unfavorable condition where wetlands get frozen, they have less food available. There's a resource scarcity and therefore they start coming towards the resource surplus area like India. And we should welcome them because they provide us a lot of ecological services which is not directly visible, but they are essential for our own survival. Just think about it that if there is no migration, what will happen? Since childhood, I kept seeing migratory birds in paddy field and in neighborhood wetlands. If they stop coming, the major problem I see the pollination, seed dispersal, and especially the pathogens. Pathogens, pest and pathogen will increase largely because it's a cyclic, routine, annual ritual which animal comes and goes back, especially the migratory birds. The most important part which I find that the characteristic, what you call nutrient cycling, which is very essential for functioning of an ecosystem, will disrupt. And if ecosystem is disrupted, the major task of ecosystem services that brings you air and water will be disrupted.
How many migratory species come to this park, and on a national level, if you can share something like how many different kind of varieties? I call them pilgrims, the ancient pilgrims. They always perform this pilgrimage every year after year and since long. So how many species?
So far we have seen there are two kinds of migration. Even summer, some birds migrate. There are short distance migration, there are medium distance migration, there are large distance migration. So when you look at short distance migration from high altitude, a lot of birds comes to this place. Even during winter, I see crow density goes very high. From Saharanpur and all, foothills of Himalayas, those birds tend to come here. Similarly, there are other small birds which comes like flycatchers. They come from high altitudes towards Delhi, they stay here. So almost 35-40 migratory birds, both terrestrial and aquatic birds we see here, and about 30 to 33 wetland birds comes here. And as I said, that most beautiful bird which I see, a big bird which has red, in fact orangish head with lipstick color beak, and that is red crested potard which comes from all the way to Central Asia and Siberia to this park. There are pintails comes from Europe, great cormorant, the nearest neighborhood China, it comes from. Gadwal comes from Europe, and even North America Gadwals comes from.
As you said that this also attracts a lot of tourists. Now tourism is a double-edged sword. So what kind of message you want to give to those people who are not into bird watching just for the tourism purpose? Because many sites in India and world over, tourists have actually done more harm than good to those places.
It's a very difficult question, I tell you. Across the world and across the taxa, different species, whether it's a tiger or bird or whatever, they are in great trouble due to tourism. First and foremost, we need to understand that why we are going to the remote areas. Why? The purpose is serenity, the calmness, to observe the beauty of nature. Beauty of nature, while you look at the beauty of nature and without protecting the calmness, then probably your presence is not required. Even the purpose for which you spend money to reach to that site, that has not been fulfilled. So therefore it is well understood, then when you are going as a tourist, you become eco-tourist. And that's why the term ecotourism came into existence. In an actual term, ecotourism says that you go to the site, enjoy the serenity, and help the community, the neighborhood community, who are able to protect that beautiful areas. And that is the ecotourism. So as meaning suggests, if we follow that, probably it will be harmless tourism. It will bring economic benefit to the community and help and support the system. But it is us who need to understand that the very purpose for which you are going to that serene area to spend your time, please let it be there as you perceived before reaching to that site.
And what about the locals? What role do they play? Any positive stories that you want to bring into light?
I have seen a place in Lakhimpur Khiri. Khiri, there is a small village, I forgot, where Barringtonia trees are there, and they are not migratory birds, but they are open-bill storks. They flock in large number, they breed there, and one family, farmer, they protect the entire nesting areas. Long back I visited that area, and I was very happy to see that farmer felt proud of it, that I am doing something. So there might be many stories I am not aware of, because I seen Chambal, I surveyed Chambal many times along with Madhya Pradesh Forest Department, where I see nobody is harming birds. Even fishing communities there, they are fishing, that fishing may be harming other reptilian species, but birds are not harmed at all. large flock of birds are there, but I have not seen community harming birds.
You said that nobody harms the birds. That is such a nice statement to have from somebody who is into this. But then why are so many species of the birds are going extinct from our land also?
It is more because of habitat loss. Population is growing, the unplanned development at many places, which has not only caused extinction of many other species including birds, but harming the human beings. In high altitude, you see what is happening in Uttarakhand and Himachal. When you look at the World Migratory Bird Day theme, it says shared habitat. So when you share the habitat, only then you would be happy. Coexistence only is the mantra of life today. Until unless you have plants, you have birds and animals together, the ecosystem never functions. If ecosystem own functions, the quality of life decreases drastically. You suffer from diseases, you have mental illness, there are many problems. So therefore there is no option. Extinction is inevitable, but we accelerated the rate of extinction. Reason is the anthropogenic reason, the kind of development we are looking for. And that is in fact across the world making many species to extinct, including bird.
Coexistence is the mantra. And for somebody who is like, to you, the birds are very dear to you. And when you are driving in NCR, you will find large, big posters saying that we are providing pigeon nets and dissuade pigeons. Why can't we understand that this land belongs to everyone and we have intruded into their place rather than they have coming into our place?
It's a wonderful question. I tell you, even I tell people not to feed pigeons. Even not only pigeons, the other mammalian species which is in question these days. Actually, when you look at pigeon, we are creating artificial food availability for them. Food is not there, but we are giving food saying that food is available. So pigeons are breeding. The pigeons you see on the road, in your house, across the world, it is creating serious problem for your building, for individual. The respiratory diseases are coming in a large way, the bacterial diseases. So therefore, when you are feeding animal, that is the problem. Without understanding, you are creating artificial food base which is not available. The pigeon is known as rock pigeon. Let them stay in rock, not in your house. Why you are allowing them to breed? Because they are unlike human beings. All birds and animals are unlike human beings, I must tell you. It is very important to understand that human beings, whether you have food or not, whether you are able to earn or not, whether you cannot walk and run, you breed. But animals and birds are unique. Until unless they have food security, they never breed. Then why you are creating artificial food security for them? Let the nature provide the food, and therefore nature has a regulatory mechanism. You see, evolution says that when population of one species grows, the nature takes its own course. The pest and pathogens comes out, and COVID-19 is one of the best example to see. So similarly, pigeon, you said, we must not feed.
So what are the challenges for these migrations, and are we likely to continue watching this great phenomena of migration, or this is also, the pattern is also going to be disturbed in the kind of disturbances that human interaction has created? Are we in the near future or in far future going to lose this thing also?
The biggest problem I see today is the extreme weather pattern, the climate change, which we observed in Delhi. Rain comes in 2 days, heavy rain, and create flooding, and sometimes there is no rain. If there is no rain, wetland will dry, where bird will go. So even the flight route are getting disturbed due to this extreme weather pattern. You have cyclone, you have something else that will disturb the flight pattern. So other than war, this extreme weather pattern, which is also created by human beings, is going to be biggest threat to the migratory birds and other species.
So any fruitful message that you want to give to the listeners and to masses in general, that how can they be not a part of extinction but a part of rejuvenation?
You see, this is our life, and we survive through the precious air and water. And air and water, no scientist can make so far enough air and water. And we must know this planet Earth is the only planet where you have biosphere, and therefore life is here. So let the life thrive through air and water, and it can only become through the ecosystem when the plants and animal interact, which includes migratory birds.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You were listening to the weekly program Our Guest, that is broadcast every Monday at 9:15 a.m. Don't forget to tune in next week, same day, same time and same frequency for more on Our Guest. Have a nice day.